Bigger and faster. That's what Prime Minister Mark Carney is promising with his government's first set of nation-building projects.
For too long, when federal agencies have examined a project, their immediate question has been, why? That changes now. From now on, Canada's new government starts by asking ourselves for major projects, how?
The promises are hopeful, but some critics are asking, what are the climate costs of these plans? Joining us to examine the impact they could have on our environment is Rick Smith, president of the Canadian Climate Institute, a registered lobby group and Canada's largest climate change research organization. Welcome.
Thanks very much, Anne-Marie.
When you look at this list of the first 5 approvals, we've got LNG, nuclear energy, port expansion, and then a couple of mining projects. Initially, what are your concerns?
Well, as you said in the introduction, we're a climate change research organization. So our question is, will this benefit Canada's pollution reduction efforts? Will this keep Canadian communities safer? Excuse me. Will this assist in fighting climate change? We've just come through a terrible summer all across the country of wildfires, terrible air quality, drought in areas like in southern Ontario where I am. So that's the lens that we're looking at these projects through. Will they contribute to Canada's fight against climate change? And it's a bit of a mixed bag.
So when you hear the Prime Minister say the first question they're asking is how, the first question you're asking is how does this impact climate in Canada? Are you disappointed with the priorities that were laid out?
No, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed. I'm impatient. This federal government was elected more than 4 months ago on a very clear platform of aligning Canada's climate change policy with what's good for our economy, what's good for the competitiveness of our industry. We agree with that. So what we're looking for this fall is a rollout of good climate change policy, good climate change ideas. We think that these major projects could be part of that. That's what we'll be watching for. It's early days.
Canada, we know, still has in place this goal of reaching net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. How then do these first new projects impact that target?
Well, we'll have to see. Certainly, the world does need to reach net zero by 2050. Again, we as Canadians from Newfoundland and Labrador to Vancouver Island to the Arctic this summer, we witness every day now the impacts of climate change. This is not just some kind of theoretical thing, something that our grandkids need to worry about. This is something we're seeing every day in terms of drought, terrible fires, bad air quality. So really, when we're talking about climate change, we're talking about the obligation of the federal government and provincial governments to protect the physical security of Canadians and Canadian communities. So we need to bring emissions down. And we need to reach net zero by 2050, and we need to get a move on in that regard. So if these national projects fit into that equation, we're all in. We think it's a great move forward. But these projects are not a substitute for good climate change policy.
You and I were just talking about some of the weather conditions that we've seen and climate impacts that we've seen in this country from coast to coast to coast over the summer. We talked about drought, poor air quality, wildfires. Has the government in this new initiative done enough to address those issues with these new pledges?
Well, look, I think there's some promising, some potentially exciting projects on this list. Let's start with Wind West, which is this quite amazing project being proposed by the government of Nova Scotia, being supported by all Atlantic Canadian provinces. The idea being that a lot of offshore wind be built off the coast of Nova Scotia, which is one of the windiest places in the world, by the way. And we still don't have a single offshore wind turbine built in any Canadian ocean, which is just kind of bonkers if you think about the length of our coastline. And so the idea of this project is to build these offshore wind turbines and then ship that clean electricity west, excuse me. Great idea. So we'll see the details of projects like that. There's different mining projects for critical minerals, different other clean electricity projects like nuclear in Ontario. If there's one advantage that Canada has economically in the world, it's we can produce a lot of clean electricity to power AI and other things. That's what the world wants. So there are some potentially exciting projects here, and we'll see how they move forward.
Rick Smith, president of the Canadian Climate Institute. Great to have your perspective on these 5 new projects as we move forward into this nation-building era for us. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Anne-Marie.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.